live by this oath until the day I die because I am and always will be a U.S. veteran. That means so much. And the person we have in our studio today could not be any better a person to talk about this. We're always happy to see him, and then, of course, sometimes we're not so happy to see him. And this is one of these times when I think that I'm not sure how I feel. He is Marc Magill, who is, of course, the director of Jesse Brown VA. Oh, how are you?
I'm great, Cliff. Happy Veterans Day to you.
And you too. And you too.
All our other heroes.
Yep, absolutely. And you're a big hero because, our whole idea, as you well know, as many times as you have been on, is to utilize the VA that we do and to get the information that you have just given us over the years, which is, just a great thing. Just a great thing. Want to mention this before we go on with, I have a problem even saying guest. I'm the host, as you know. Executive producer is Glenda Smith. Our digital media producer is Manny Corzari. We're pleased to have them, as always. The discussion is this. You've heard him many times right here, Marc Magill, as the director of the Jesse Brown VA. But this time, he is retiring. You see? Veterans Day, Director Magill's retirement, and this is the last America's Heroes Group show as director of Jesse Brown VA Programs and Services. Now, you notice what we said. The last program as director.
Oh, that's right. I'd love to come back.
Well, you know you're going to be invited. Talk to us.
Well, I tell you what, this is so bittersweet. I've been serving veterans for 36 years, and I know every November 11th we hold that sacred and we honor our veterans. But what I hope everyone knows is, and you mentioned freedom. It's all about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It's in this great country, we can go where we want, when we want. We can eat where we want. We can go to school where we want. We can choose where we want to work. And we thank our veterans and their sacrifices for that freedom. So every day we should honor those veterans. And so, coming back to my 36 years, it has gone quickly, and it has always been a privilege to serve our veterans.
And you have done such a tremendous job doing it.
Well, that's because I have great team over there at Jesse Brown and great partners like you, and it's just made that easy.
Yeah, well, we've been over, as you know, because they're great.
Yes, sir.
Now, I got to say this to our listeners. Marc showed me a picture of his family. They're happy. Quickly tell us about your family. I just thought that was wonderful.
Well, I have a daughter that is downstate and near Champaign-Urbana, and actually that's where we're going to relocate, building a house. In fact, Cliff, I bought a tractor. So
wow,
we got 5 acres
really
down there. So
okay,
but no,
this is not retirement.
No. I tell you what, between woodworking and of course, I play the violin.
Yeah,
and we are going to take the Harley out to Colorado. So that's one of the bucket list things. And so we're going to keep busy.
I know
we're
you
going to
are.
keep busy. And my wife, I tell you what, she's just so happy.
That's great.
And you saw the smile.
I did. Smiling. Everybody's smiling. Yeah. No, I just think it's great. Is there anything, Marc Magill, that you really want to do, wanted to do that you haven't done?
Absolutely. I think that, and something that we started, Cliff, it's been, almost 3 years ago. It's getting out the word about the help that our veterans, not just in the Chicagoland, and not just veterans that go to Jesse Brown, but any VA, all the programs that are so unique to caring for veterans that a lot of people don't know about and might not think that they're eligible for. How do we get that word out? How do we help those veterans and make a difference in their lives? So that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to definitely continue to do, even in my retirement.
That I'm very happy to hear. How are you going to do that?
Well, for one thing, I will take you up on your offer to come back and be on the show. I'd love to.
You'll get that.
Love to do that.
You'll get that. That's
and
great.
Again, I plan to stay very in tune with veterans issues, and hopefully during the last 36 years, I've learned a little bit about the services and programs. And I'll tell you what, believe it or not, I'm a shy person, but I will go up, and if I see a veteran or I overhear a veteran out, I'll tell them about the VA, and I'll tell them about
great.
Services. And
I believe you do. Yeah. I have no question that you do that. I just think that's great that you continue to do that. Our number is 312-374-8130. 312-374-8130. We have a caller. Let's go to Claude. Hey, Claude.
Hi, Cliff.
How you doing, Claude?
Pretty good.
Good.
We'd both be remiss if we did not mention Eugene Bullard. I know we talked about him, born 1895, October, passed away 1961. He was the first African-American or melanated fighter pilot in the world. He was barred from serving this country because of his color, served in France, won France's two highest awards, comparable to the Congressional Medal of Honor and the Distinguished Service Cross. He won the Croix de Guerre and the Legion of Merit. Just an outstanding man. Even fought with the French Foreign Legion. He served in the First World War and the Second World War.
Wow.
He was quite the hero.
He certainly
We don't hear
was.
enough about him.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, Claude, that when people who have done those sort of things, they really need to be recognized. And I certainly...
Yes, they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly appreciate your calling in and saying that. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Claude. That's true. We need the history. One of the things they're talking about today, but that's nothing as far as time. Mr. Gorbachev tore down that wall. That's a good thing, obviously, but that's only 30 years ago. What Claude is talking about, there's a whole lot of heroes that a lot of folks don't know much about. And you over at the VA have helped, because I've been to programs over there that you've had, strictly for history.
Even our namesake, Jesse Brown, the Honorable Jesse Brown, is a Marine, combat Marine. And a lot of folks, have heard the name, but he was the first African-American Secretary of Veteran Affairs and has always been a advocate of veterans, and he's passed, but every year at Jesse Brown, we have a Spirit of Jesse Brown Day. And that's to commemorate his legacy because of his leadership and the impact that he made for veterans.
Mark, that's why we just love having. I'm sure a lot of people don't even know Jesse Brown's black.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only his family comes, and I tell you, this is a big deal every year. His mother is alive, and I tell you, God bless her. She is she's just a good person.
His mom,
good person.
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. He was in what service?
He's Marine.
That's what
Combat
I thought.
Marine.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Served 6 years, and a lot of what his leadership was all about, he learned as a Marine.
Isn't that something? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad that Claude called in, because a lot of folks don't even think about the history, you know what I mean? But, of course, by our having you on and coming over as to the VA as we have, the programs you have over there is just great. And that's one thing I think that people really need, and you're going to be coming in anyway, but folks really need to know exactly what. They don't have to go over there because they have a problem. They can go over there because they can get a lot of history. It's like going to school.
Absolutely. And what we find, it's a community. We have folks that come over every day, and they like to be around other veterans, and they like to be around people that care for veterans. And so you're absolutely right, Cliff.
I have a note on my screen. The caller just wanted to say this, evidently didn't want to come on. Says that Jesse Brown went to Hyde Park High School. Somebody called in
That's
and said
correct.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that is correct.
Yes.
Okay, you do know that. Okay. With that. Okay. Oh, my goodness. That's great. Well, you know what kind of listeners we have. So you knew that anyway. Of course you would. So thank you to the caller to let people know that he did go to Hyde Park.
No, I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And just, I told you before, just very humbled that, I got to be the director of the facility that he was named after.
We've had this discussion before. Normally, Mark is privately, in other words. But, and I should get over this, I'm Army.
Now, we're not going to tell Hughes Turner that, right?
Oh, do you get much of that at the various services? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
And not just the branch of service, but the period of service.
Oh, yeah.
And then what's interesting at Jesse Brown is if you think about this, so we have 5 generations of veterans. And, come from different branches, served in different periods of service. But then we have 5 generations of employees serving those 5 generations of veterans. And so it's never a dull moment, but it's fun. And
I know it is.
I think
Yeah.
you see that.
Yeah.
And, the spirit of Jesse Brown, I come back to that. I just love walking down the halls there. And it's the largest VA that I have been to where it seems like it's the smallest one.
And that's great.
It just has that community feel to it.
Yeah. The times I've been there, it's just great.
Feel very welcome.
Yeah. The one thing that I was telling a friend of mine the other day is it's just funny when the things you haven't done that you want to do. But I got to work it out. I can call you. I know you can do it. I want to go in an aircraft carrier.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Want to see one. I just want to be on it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have
Absolutely.
to be. Yeah, because that's a moving country.
Yes. Well, if you can manage that, I volunteer to go and take a picture of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's take another caller. Let's go to Harold. Harold, hi. How you doing?
Hey, Cliff.
How you doing, sir?
I just wanted to call in and give a shout out to the legacy of Jesse Brown.
Sure.
He was behind me at Hyde Park High School. I graduated in '61.
Okay.
And he was behind me, and I got to know him a little bit thereafter because he approached me about how he looked up to me. And I wasn't even aware of what he was talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line was his personality was so introspective, wise, and focused, even back then, before he even became to be who he was. And then later in life, we had a couple other opportunities to really embrace one another.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a beautiful human being. I just want people to know how beautiful Jesse Brown was and how, from a quiet position and serving America, he gained that kind of power from Hyde Park High School, out of Hyde Park, Southside Chicago kid.
What was he as fast a runner as I believe you are? Is this the Harold that I'm speaking to?
No, I was never a runner. I'm Harold Lucas. I'm a community organizing guy, impresario. And
I thought you did that too. Okay, all right.
Clubs and all kind of stuff like that. But
I know that, but Yeah.
We had some clever stuff coming out of Hyde Park, right?
Oh, I know that.
And so,
sure.
and he was a younger guy, and he just came up to me. He introduced himself to me.
Okay.
That's the irony of it, right?
I got you.
At high school, just after high school level, we became friends after high school level, and I followed his career all the way through. I mean, he's just a great human being. You know how somebody just from that young age. That's who this guy was.
That's
God bless
wonderful.
him and his whole family and those who serve America in the military.
Appreciate you, Harold. Thank you so much for your call. That's great, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. It's really interesting that there are folks who've done so much for so many, and that's why Veterans Day is so important.